Hi, everyone. I'm Maddie Smith, and it's that time of the week. What the hell is up? Today we're virtual. I got my girls in their little Zoom squares because I'm a boss bitch and I'm in LA. And by LA, I mean San Bernardino because that's where people film TV shows now. So I'm filming a TV show in California. I can't say what it is for legal purposes, but it sounds like Wild and Out. So, so if you can guess what it is, that's totally fine. But don't let that get back to my lawyers. We're filming here. I'm in a little COVID bubble. Can't leave. And then I'm going to be in LA till July 6th. So when I come back, I'm going to be skinny. I'm going to have massive tits, a massive ass. I'm going to look like Kylie Jenner, and people are going to say, holy shit, this new version of Maddie is like so awesome. I'm going to be doing anal, like all sorts of things. Yeah. I don't know if they do that in LA, but it's been on my agenda for a while. So let's get that done. But we got some good topics for today. We're going to talk about Naomi Osaka. Famous tennis star. Literally did not realize she's like 24 years old or something like that. 23, 24.
Yeah, she's like 12 years old.
What the Every time people are younger than me, I'm like, God damn it. Like, I watched The Bachelor this year. The guy's like, what's up? I'm Matt. I'm 27. I'm like, what the fuck? I always thought everyone was older than me, but these girls on the show are like, I'm Michaela. I'm 23 years old. Right. You shouldn't be getting ready for a Bachelor. You're getting ready to fuck 50 dudes that you regret. So we got Naomi Osaka. She is done with media tours. She's done with media presentations. She said they give her depression, and she couldn't participate in the French Open because of this. Crazy rules. She got fined for missing media obligations. Hey, if I got fined every time I missed an obligation, boy, I'd be in even more debt than I have now. So let's just say good luck to Naomi. We're going to discuss that. Also, happy Happy Pride. Ashlyn's here. She's a huge lesbo. Jill here talked about her threesome on the last episode. She's the straightest one here. Me, I could be bi, but I'm too lazy to come out. I'm almost 30. It's over. I can't deal with any sort of large life changes right now. And, I don't want to put the pressure on my boyfriend. So let's just go with that. But today we're going to talk about corporate pride. I think it's hilarious how every year they just like June 1st, they're like, hello, fellow gays, come on in. I kissed a girl once in a bar, and you're like, CVS, what are you doing? So we're going to talk about corporate pride and Ashlyn's take and everyone's take on a couple episodes we were talking about like cops aren't allowed at the pride parade, but I want to talk about corporate pride and how it affects us all. So let's get into our guests. I have two fire guests. They're on the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast. This time difference is like crazy because I just woke up and they're like ready to eat lunch. So it's like different worlds. Your first guest, you know her. I know her. Everyone knows her. Which one is it going to be? Jill Wiener.
Oh, it's me. Everyone, you know me.
Everyone knows Jill.
You know me.
And of course, under her on my end of the Zoom, Ashlyn Salzato.
Yay! No one knows me.
I know you, Ashlyn.
Yeah. Ashlyn's intro is, I know her. No one else knows her except for her boss at the bar, Ashlyn Sal fucking Zano. I'm so happy you guys are here. I'm sitting in a nice air-conditioned apartment or hotel suite, but I heard it's 90 degrees in New York City. What's the status?
It's fucking
It's
hot as
disgusting.
shit. It's noon right now. It's been 80 since 9 a.m.
So
out on the streets.
do you guys don't have air conditioning in your apartments or only one room?
I do, but it's loud, so I didn't turn it on for this because I didn't want to interfere with the sound quality.
Wow.
Oh,
You are
wow,
so
Jill.
selfless. Give it up for
Hero.
Jill.
Thank you.
Hero in the house.
I have mine
Podcasts
on.
matter.
Yeah.
Audio matters.
Audio matters.
I have mine on in the room though, but it's one of those, I think it's like 12,000 BTU.
Oh,
I don't know what that. Ashlyn's throwing air conditioning stats
Yeah.
at me. What the fuck does that mean? BTU? Is that a Korean
like-
pop band? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
It's how powerful an AC is, like how many rooms it can get cold.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all right. I spent a lot of
How
time.
many rooms can get cold?
How many rooms can you get cold?
Ashlyn just said, I spent a lot of time in Home Depot. Listen, you don't need to tell us. You're
We
fucking
know. Happy
gay
Pride,
as hell.
Ashlyn.
Happy Pride. We get it. Your month, your rules. So
Well, Jill got a Subaru, so
I did.
technically,
I know. It's like, Joe, you're doing everything but licking
No,
puss. What are
I'm
you
like,
doing?
I know
What
I
are you
seem really gay, but I'm not.
You're trying to make it happen. It's amazing.
I can't
Okay,
help it.
let's get into our first segment before we get on a rail, before we get on a homophobic rant about how gay Jill seems. Our first segment, per usual, is called Let's Sync Up. Okay, so we like to start the pod, every single pod, with the same segment. It's called Let's Sync Up, to get our ovaries cramping on the same page, our fallopian tubes, our eggs dropping like flies out of our motherfucking vulvas. So, so today's question, on the line of summer. You know, I'm in the desert, so it's always 80 here. I got mountains outside my view. But today's question is, what is your perfect summer day?
Ashlyn just had a dream float past her eyes. She was like, oh.
I think I just came.
I know.
think I just
can feel it.
My perfect summer day. Well, where do I start? The green grass of Central Park or the beaches of Rockaway?
or the green water in Coney Island. Where do I start?
This time of year.
Yeah.
I went to Coney Island a couple times. I actually think Jill was with me when we went to the Cyclones game
Probably.
at Coney Island. And
Oh yeah,
when
that was fun.
I watched our friend Caitlin come out of the water, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm not going in there." She had a
diaper
hot
stuck to
dog.
her.
She had a diaper on her calf. She had a Nathan's hot dog container on her head. Not even seaweed, just napkins, maxi pads. I was like, "Honey,
Yeah.
no, I'm not going in there."
I've seen tampons there. Like, it's disgusting.
Ew.
Like, it's gross.
So gross.
Horrifying.
Yeah.
So I love a nice summer day where you sleep in till fucking 11 p.m. And that's my
11 p.m.
oh.
You're like, I'm just dead to the world. That's an ideal day.
My perfect day is I'm passed out for
Passed out all
24
day.
hours.
I'm in an alternate reality. I'm high on sleeping pills. I wake up, I eat pizza, and then I go back to bed, and I sleep until 11 p.m. What I meant to say was 11 a.m. You wake up, the sun's... Sometimes I'm just not a morning person, and if I wake up early, it fucks my whole day.
Sure.
So I like a nice 11 a.m. wake up. And if you guys know me, I'm obsessed with air conditioning. I am obsessed with being in air conditioning on a hot day. I live for that shit. I love sitting inside. I love seeing the little heat waves outside.
Yes.
And me in a blanket inside. I'm obsessed. So I like to wake up on a hot day, sit in my air conditioning, and I like to go to the beach at like 2 p.m.
Nice.
Oh,
That's
okay.
Like beach time. Yeah.
Okay.
Beach time, eat a little breakfast, maybe get
Yeah.
a little exercise because that makes me feel good.
Same.
A little biking or something.
Yeah.
Maybe a
Well,
little
just
walk.
swimming at the beach. I guess you don't go in the
Swimming
water,
at the
so-
beach. Listen, Jill, I can't swim at the beach unless the water is 90 degrees.
Gotcha.
I was
So,
gonna say Jill's over there doing laps. in
I
the
love an open water swim.
Jill's doing that. She's hitting the buoy. She's coming
Yeah.
back. She's got a swim cap, goggles.
I do.
She comes out,
got the whole
and when
thing.
I wake up at 11, she's like, oh, "You just ruined the whole morning. The tide was perfect." So, what do you guys think of a nice summer morning? What's your perfect summer? We'll start with morning.
For me, I definitely have to work out if I'm going to the beach. Like, I have to go for a run.
That's what summer is. It's so easy for me to feel swollen in my clothing. So if I get some exercise in, the body dysmorphia shrinks. That's really all it is. You're like taming your body dysmorphia. 'Cause
Exactly.
Summer,
That makes
your
sense.
skin is out. Your tits are sweating under your shirt.
Your clothes
So I
are
gotta go for a
sticking
little
to your
jog.
body.
Yeah.
Your clothes are sticking to your body. People are taking pictures of you. I look like a beached whale, and it's like, okay, let's minimize that. Let's go for get those endorphins that
Yeah.
numb the pain of my swollen body.
You know what else I'm doing too? I'm like getting ready to sweat off the food I'm going to eat the whole day.
Yes.
You know, like that's
Yes.
really what I'm doing.
Yeah, the tacos, the hot dogs, the burgers, the like hunch punch that people are selling on the beach, all the stuff.
Yes, this is all foods Ashlyn. That's how Ashlyn calls pussy: hot dogs, burgers, hunch punch.
Punch.
So
Happy Pride, Ashlyn.
happy Pride. I actually agree. When I was in Aruba, the only reason I exercised was so I could fit massive amounts of food and drink in me.
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
when you don't move around, you can't enjoy the food because your
Yeah.
body's like, fuck you, we're done. And there's nothing worse than wanting to eat, but you're
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah,
Or
and then
just
you feel
also
bad
like
about it.
yeah, feeling guilty. I was gonna say, then you like sit there just feeling guilty, like, oh,
I
I
hate
didn't
that.
work out, so I can't have 10 burgers. You know?
Oh my God.
Not that it evens out, but
It's the woman. It's woman and like former fat guys or current fat guys. No other people have this mindset.
Yeah.
Because you talk to a regular guy, he's like, "What the fuck?
Like, I eat whatever I want, man.
I'll eat 10 burgers while lying down."
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Oh,
you
that's
talk-
breakfast. That's just breakfast.
But those guys don't even have like an interior life. Like they don't have.
Oh no! They
You know,
don't
they're
have an
living out
interior
loud
life.
every day, all day.
It's a shell. It's like a movie set. On the outside,
Yeah.
it looks good. It's like walking through a movie
Yeah,
set
exactly.
town. It looks like we walk in, it's all white, it's all plain.
Yeah.
It's like a airplane hangar when you open the door, just empty.
Yeah.
Going.
It's like a green
Those
screen.
things they used to like show,
Yeah.
like they used in old movies where it was like it looked like a tunnel, but it's just a painting of a tunnel.
Yes, that's what the interior of men is. See, Andrew was fat for once, and he has intense body
Yeah.
dysmorphia, so him and I relate heavily on it.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
So you both work out and then feel guilty together.
That's
yeah,
nice.
yeah. That's
And we're
beautiful.
both like, we can't fuck. I feel fat.
Aw. I want that.
It works. Yeah, it works. You're like, I feel fat. He's like, no, I feel fat. I'm like, baby.
I love you.
Joe, what's
Love
your
is
perfect
love.
summer morning? Love is
Summer
love.
morning, love is love. Summer
Love
morning.
trumps hate.
I'll probably. I mean, when you said ideal summer day, I automatically transported myself to a tropical beach locale, say
Obsessed.
Hawaii, Bermuda. You know what I mean? The Bahamas, somewhere like
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
ideal summer day, probably wake up around 9, 10 a.m. Go hit the buffet, the breakfast buffet, have some fresh
Oh.
fruit, and then
Get
head on
a
down.
fucking Belgian waffle.
Yeah.
Only
you
some
want.
fresh fruit. That's it, Joe.
Because then you're gonna eat chicken fingers on the beach because you got
Yeah.
somebody bringing them to you. You know.
I know you're like, I'm not gonna go to the buffet and scoop it up myself. I need
No,
someone to
need it to be
bring
carried.
me chicken fingers and honey mustard on a
you.
plate.
Yeah.
I actually like to keep the breakfast, the morning light as well. I like
Me
to be
too.
famished by the time lunch comes. So then you're like, oh
And
man.
then it's like, beach day until about, I guess, probably like 2, 3, maybe.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then back shower, maybe a quick nap, maybe a movie. And
Ooh.
then, like,
I'm
you know,
obsessed.
right? Like,
I am obsessed with sitting on the beach for hours, and then when that hunger hits, you're like, oh man.
Yeah.
Something about sitting on the beach, even if you don't move at all,
Yeah.
makes you so fucking hungry.
it does.
And then you swim in the salt water, it dries out your insides, and you're like, I need a turkey sandwich immediately.
yeah.
You swim for 5 minutes. You're like, I'm famished. This was a workout. I
Right.
need
Yes.
I need some protein.
I need some protein. I need a Cliff Bar. I'm gonna eat
Yeah.
some jerk chicken. Anything to fuel
Right.
me. From
You know what I like?
lost.
You know what I like to do sometimes during the summer? I like to just have a smoothie in the morning and then start. Like if I go to the beach, I like to start eating at 3, and then I don't finish eating. Like
Right.
till I go to
Yeah,
bed. Yeah.
Marathon.
Yeah.
Snacking.
That's why it's kind of like edging because you prolong, but the minute you open those goldfish, it's over.
Forget about it.
You're like, oh, I'm gonna maintain the hunger,
Yeah.
and then 3 to midnight.
Yeah.
And there's always that moment too. You're like, oh, this one thing is going to sate me. Like, this is going to be the last thing I eat. And then you're like, I think I need something spicy actually. After that,
know
like, I
what?
need something to kind of.
I need to chug a bottle of sriracha. I just need that. I need that right now. Okay, so we go to the beach. We come back. Is there anything better than getting back from the beach and sitting in like the cool air or showering
nice.
after the
Yes.
Showering
Yes.
after the beach is the best.
beach? Oh my god!
Oh my
Do you know
God.
what's the best when you go to like a family member's beach house and they got that outdoor shower?
Ooh, that's
Where you're
nice.
like-
'cause
you're
not
like-
taking And
No.
sand on the side. Yeah.
And you're like naked outside, and you're like, oh my god,
They freak me out. I hate outdoor showers.
your tits are out. You're like, what the fuck? I'm naked outside.
They freak me out.
Rich
They
people
freak
have that
me out.
shit.
I don't like them. I don't
I-
like outdoor showers.
It's
Yeah.
like, and then like everyone knows you're like in there naked. It's like,
Naked, yeah.
dude. It used to be fun when I was a kid, when I was a little bit more sexual. No, I'm kidding. But when you're like, when it's like more fun. But now I'm like, I'm gonna shower in my space where no one can watch me walk in a towel while you're cooking burgers next to you.
Right. Although the appeal of an outdoor shower, being able to smell a grill while you're taking a shower, I mean, that's a sensory dream right there.
peak.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is why that's why Jeff Bezos works as hard as he does,
Yeah.
so that he can have an outdoor shower with the grill, cooking up some salmon, cooking up some chicken, a couple burgers.
As soon as you smell the grill and you're showering at the same time, that's when you're really like, I've made it. You know,
Yeah.
that's when
Yeah.
that's when it's like, oh, this is the peak of life.
This
and
is
I
the
don't
peak
know.
of
Yeah.
I don't know if you watch Mad Men, but it's like that last scene in Mad Men when he's
Mm.
just meditating, closing his eyes. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Shower, grill smells.
Nirvana.
floating through. Nirvana. Smells like Teen Spirit.
And then you're
Exactly.
drinking all night too. You
Yeah.
guys like to
Oh,
drink in
yeah.
the summer? Yeah.
Yeah, so summer nights is where, Greece
Summer
was right.
nights.
Greece was
Yeah.
right when they were talking about summer nights. Summer lovin' had me a blast. There's something so fucking sexy about a summer night. You're chilling, you're drinking. Do not even get me started on like a boardwalk. The horniness of a boardwalk through the roof. You got teens fingering each other. You're like, oh my
rides.
god.
There's rides sometimes.
There's rides. You're sitting next to a man. Your thighs
Yeah.
are touching. You're like, oh my god, are we gonna fuck? And he's
Yeah.
like, I'm your cousin. You're like, what the fuck? I love a summer night. I like a summer
Yeah.
night in the city because everything's cooled down. See, like the summer days in the city, you're like trudging through the air. The
Oh.
subway. Do not even get me started on the West
Oh, the
4th Street subway.
Ew.
That multi-level dungeon where only like people should go if they hate gay people. Like that's hell, that is ultimate hell. But the summer nights in New York City is the
heaven.
place to be. You're bouncing it. The bars are open.
Yeah, especially now everybody's like eating on the street and stuff.
I
The city
know.
feels so alive. It's so fun to be like,
So
"Woo,
Europe-
we're living.
European. I feel like Aladdin. I'm walking by plates. I'm like, ooh, calamari. Mwah. I put some in my mouth. I skateboard through the restaurant, scoop up some bread.
You got your little trained rat on your shoulder.
Yeah, my
Hey, Stuart got a name. Stuart has a name.
fair enough.
Oh, shout out to Stuart. I got a little rat on my shoulder. He's got a little baseball cap, he's got a Yankees cap on. He's like, hola, hola, amigos. I'm like, he's my little rat. He's from the Bronx,
He's got Tim's on. He
Yeah.
has little
He's
Tim's
got
on.
yeah, that's my version of the Aladdin monkey. So I'm roaming around and like I like the spontaneity of a summer night. Whether or not you do stand up, you're like bouncing around. And now we got like rooftops and
Oh
stuff.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
great.
You don't know where you're gonna end up. 4
Such a
a.m.
nice breeze too.
Nice
Yeah,
breeze.
that's-
Summer breeze, baby.
That's what I was gonna
Yes.
say. The breeze in the summer in New York is fantastic because you're
Oh.
just like
I
surrounded
can
by
bottle
water.
that. Ooh.
Yeah,
And you also feel so light because you don't have a coat or like a backpack. It's just like your body,
And your backpack. Oh, you did.
Your
you got
body.
the back.
I try to like minimize because that
Yeah.
backpack on my fucking back is like
Ew.
you take that off and you're like, okay, well, I look like Lance Armstrong right now
Yeah.
because my back is
So sweaty.
coated in sweat.
but
So,
that's a stand up thing, like walking around with your backpack. Because
I'm trying to minimize mine.
grown women don't walk around with backpacks, right? Unless you're doing
This
stand up
grown woman does. Oh.
Some people do. I actually no. I think when I walk around in a backpack, I'm like, it actually lowers my self esteem. I feel less. I'm gonna work on my bag action this summer because the backpack does something to me that like I walk into a
Right.
club and I'm like, hey,
Where did I put this?
where, my mom's coming to pick me up. So
Yeah.
can I go up early? Like it changes my personality. I feel very
Yeah.
weak with a backpack now.
Yeah.
So we got the summer nights. What's the ultimate end of a summer day? Whether you're in the tropics or New York City, probably drinking, right?
Yeah, or you just you just pass out watching like reruns or something. Like that's
every other night. Okay.
Every other night. Yeah. Yeah.
Ash taking it back to the pandemic. She's just
I know. She's like, well, 2020 goals.
I gotta incorporate the future and the past, you know? That's what I gotta
exactly.
do. Yeah.
I like a nice cone. I like a nice twist cone on a summer night.
Yeah.
Stop at Mr. Softy, get a nice twist with rainbow sprinkles. End of the night, sweating. You come home, you turn that AC on high, bring it up to 7, and then you fall asleep to the sweet, sweet hums of that air conditioning.
Yeah.
I'm just obsessed with. You know what the best part of summer is? When you're walking around in New York City, 90 degrees, and you walk by like a Dwayne Reed, and the air conditioning hits you, and you're like,
so nice. So
stepping inside a drugstore on a summer day, oh, that air tightens up your nipples.
And get on a train too. Get on that train after you've been standing on that sweltering platform.
Yeah, but
when you get on a train that doesn't have AC,
you
you can't wait for the doors to open. You're like, here I go, and then you get in there and you can see everybody goes, no.
I have had thoughts where I'm like, this is where I die.
Yeah.
This is where I die because the heat is contracting against my body.
Yeah.
Like a growing amoeba. And it's pushing me against the wall.
Whenever that has happened to me, and like you, because you're standing there and you're just waiting, you're like, oh, the train is coming. Finally, I can breathe because I'm gonna get in this AC, and the door opens and you feel even more heat.
Oh,
yeah.
so
and
gross.
I'm like, maybe God does hate the gays. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm like
Yeah.
this is not this was like sent from up above.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, he
Or from down
definitely
below,
does.
Yeah,
but
or
we're
down
just-
below.
or down below. Zeus or Hades, whichever one of them is sending up.
Zeus or Hades.
Well, I can't keep up with the mythical creatures,
Yeah.
but anything else about a summer day that makes it ideal? I think we got the big ones: beach, hunger, air conditioning, working out, ice cream, hot summer days. No,
I would say
backpack.
movies as well. Going to the movies. I know I mentioned it. Going to the movies.
Jill, holy
oh.
shit!
When it's so, because that's got all three. It's got air conditioning. It's dark.
It's got the snacks.
Oh
It's
my
got
god!
snacks and
go-
and ones you can drink in now too. You know, which is so fun.
Oh my
loaded.
gosh, so fun.
The only thing for me though, it's hard going to the movies in the summer because it's like you don't know what to wear because it gets cold.
Right.
If you get so cold in the theater, then
Yeah.
you come out and it's hot, and so like
You got to bring
like,
a sweater.
You gotta bring a sweater.
I want to.
You gotta carry it in. You gotta carry it in.
I want to get those pants that have like that you can zipper up, like you know how you can add
Yes.
them.
Oh
you
my
can-
god, I haven't seen those in years. The
You can
zip
go from
off.
shorts to pants and one fail zip.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, those were low key a thing. Those slapped. I kind of want a pair now. I want a pair
Yeah,
of
those
those. I
are
might order a pair.
underrated. Those are underrated.
Ashlyn, I
seriously.
know for sure that you had like 3 pairs of those, and you had the pairs that were like made for men. Then you got them in the JCPenney men's section, the boys section, and you're like, Mom, these are cool. Can I get 3 pairs?
Oh, Ashlyn.
I got the one with the big cargo pockets.
The
you know?
cargo
Yeah.
pockets. There
For
was
all
a
your
girl,
change.
your change and your Tamagotchi.
Yeah.
There was a girl in my school who had like purple ones, and now I'm thinking I gotta buy some.
Oh,
that could be
that
my
was
whole personality this summer.
Part of your color
Yeah.
story, yeah. Like when you're
My
going into a
color
nice restaurant, you're like, "Give me 1 second, let me zip my pants on."
They're like, ma'am, no shorts, and I'm like, not a
Not
problem.
a problem.
I've got my loops here. Zzz. Where were we? She's like, right
You
this
pop a
way.
Mentos into your mouth.
Yeah. Little Mentos, a little Werthers. Yeah, the movies in summer, that's a day. You go in and it's light out, you come out, it's a little dusky, you're like, oh,
I love that.
man.
And
let's
also,
get
you're just
some
watching
dinner.
some like superhero action garbage or something,
yeah,
or
don't
some
even
chick
care.
flick or something. It's so great.
Don't even care. I think a couple
Yeah.
summers ago, we saw a lot of movies like Hustlers, a bunch of movies, and it was just I don't even remember what they were. But you're
Like
just
the Marvel Avengers, all of
the
them.
Avengers.
Yeah,
I saw
right.
Spider-Man with him, like
Yeah.
Knives Out. You're like, I don't fucking know what any of these are, but I am sweating, and now I'm inside, and my pubes are tightening up. So everything feels good. Yep. All right, so that's our segment. Let's sync up. I feel good now. Now I'm ready to celebrate summer.
Yeah,
Celebrate
I feel
summer.
synced up.
I feel
I'm
synced up.
synced. Yeah.
I like how none of us said anything about traveling or anything. I'm fucking over it. Okay, so let's go into our next segment. It's called Emotional Issues.
In the height of emotion, it's not always easy to stop and think things through. But if you'll just slow down, then judgment has a better chance to take hold.
Okay, so every few pods, we like to get this segment going where we answer some questions. Today, I asked my Instagram followers and podcast listeners for advice. They're seeking advice from us, and we're 3 stable, mentally sound women with no issues whatsoever. So we're the perfect people to ask advice for. I don't see why anyone would never ask us for advice. I hurt when they don't. So we got a few questions. The first question is, how do you deal with creative blocks? And listen, I have a hard time with this one because when I'm uncreative, I am uncre-fucking-ative. Like, it's not coming out. It's like trying to come when you watch porn all day. It's like when a guy's like, fuck, it's not going to happen. That's how it feels. I'm just like, come on.
Yeah.
Come up with a joke.
Well, I think that's like I think you got to walk away. I think you got to stop. First thing, you got to change whatever's going on in your brain. Like either go for a walk, exercise, eat a sandwich. Just mix it up,
Eat a sandwich, go wild.
Get some fresh fruit at the buffet, go to the beach till 3 p.m., watch a movie. You know what the hard time is for me is like when people are like, oh, you just have to step away. I will step away for a long time. I'm like, right. I'm doing this for me. I'm like, I'm going for a walk. I'm exercising. I'm eating lunch, and then I'm blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I'm just working. I'm like, and then like 3 weeks, I'm like, no, I'm still working. I'm still stepping away. So I have a hard time finding the boundary between stepping away and like, all right, let's reapproach.
You step away too far. You go. You don't step away. You run away.
I sprint away. I take an Amtrak away. I'm like, listen, I'm working. This is all for the creative process. Bill Burr had to do it. I'm in Hawaii. Yeah.
I honestly, like, if I ever get a creative block, which I don't, I never do. Okay, She's not
always creating.
Ashlyn is like obsessed with creating. She's always like sending me it's 2 a.m. She's like, hey, does this video work? I'm like, Ashlyn, dude, chill.
She never sleeps.
You never sleep.
I'm so obsessed with creating.
She's obsessed with comedy.
But honestly, I just find like going out and like just living life. I know that sounds so gay, but like just living life, like, because what
she
we
can
write.
Say it.
She's a lesbo, so she can say it.
Because like, what do we write about? We write about like life experiences. So if we go have some, I feel like we could come back and write some.
It's so true, and that's why the quarantine was so hard because we were like, come on, get some stuff, and you're like, but then the minute stand up reopened, I was like, bing, bang, boom, 5 new minutes within a couple weeks because I was out and about. And then even at Wild and Out, we had to isolate for 4 days in a hotel room for a COVID bubble. And going into it, I was like, we're going to make TikToks and all this. And the day one, I was like, who am I? And I couldn't come up with anything. So it's like you have to, unless you're awesome at like being alone and like I bounce off of others really well, and I need to work on my like being alone.
That's overrated. That's overrated.
We're social animals. You have to be around each other.
Social animals.
Because comedy is also a way to like communicate. And
exactly.
That's why. Right?
Even though a lot of men would not agree.
It's ironic. It is a way to communicate, and yet so many men are like, oh,
like, let me tell you about my dick. It's like, no.
How different can it be than the rest of them I've seen? Because
I've seen a lot.
Yeah, I've seen a lot. I got a bell curve, and there's nothing crazy. Nothing too crazy in there.
A lot of samples.
I think exercise is really good for it. And you know what the fucking worst thing about exercise is when it works. When you get back from a run and you're like, fuck you. Shut the fuck up. You don't want to tell anyone that or like you eat healthy for a day and drink water and you're like, I'm feeling, shut up. No, I'm not feeling good.
No, it doesn't help me. It doesn't help me. I won't admit that.
I won't admit that.
You need to wallow in your sorrow and then you'll create more stuff.
Whoa, wallow in your sorrow is a Dr. Seuss book, I think.
That hasn't been canceled. I
also think sometimes when we get creative blocks, we isolate isolate ourselves too,
Mhm.
or even just general blocks, and you're like, "Brr." But if you FaceTime a friend,
Right.
you can be like, hey,
Yeah.
can we talk? And here's one funny thing I thought of today, or what creative thing. And they're like, that's so funny. Your friends
Yeah.
will support you. And we always forget that there's people who will like be like, yes,
That
and.
like us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
That
always
want to
forget.
see us do well. We forget.
know.
Yeah.
How quickly we forget too.
How motherfucking quickly we forget.
It's like
But
10
we-
minutes alone. I'm like, everyone hates me, but they wouldn't care if I was dead. It's fine.
Jill, 10
you'll-
minutes alone.
But you'll never forget someone that hates you. You know what I mean?
True.
You'll never forget.
There can be 100 people in a room who love me, but
Here
if
we
one
go.
of them hates me, I will focus on them. I think you're supposed to be the opposite. You're supposed to focus
Yeah.
on the positive, but I'm like,
Yeah.
well, you know what? 3 years ago, blah, blah, blah. So creative blocks, yeah, definitely just like staying active, trying not to force it. I also think routine is very helpful. I have like a little morning routine that kind of keeps me grounded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when your brain is like, oh, here is the time that you write, then something might come out. I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah.
I agree.
Sometimes
Stay social.
sometimes also like just rubbing one out and then taking a shower works.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Taking a shower and then nap and masturbating.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Maybe not in that order, but
Jill likes to get her fingers dirty after.
I'm all clean. I like a clean masturbatory
Yes.
round
Yes. Let me guess,
After
you
I'm
poop
all-
after you shower.
every time in the shower. I know people pee in the shower, but I'm a shower pooper. And
I'm different. I'm different. I'm a pooper in the shower.
A pooper in the shower.
Jill's different.
Also,
unique.
go out and do normal stuff. Like, go to the movie, hang out with non-creatives, because they will fucking
they'll make you feel good about yourself.
they'll gas you
Yeah.
up fast. Get off
Yeah.
social media where you're only
Yes.
seeing success. Like, you go on Twitter, you're only seeing like viral stuff. You're only like TikTok only shows you the viral stuff, so you don't see everyone's failures. But like, there's people bombing out there. But go hang out with normal people. They'll be like, oh my god, you're doing that's so cool. And when people gas you up, you're like, wait, I am cool.
Yeah.
You're right, and like that confidence is enough to like help you when you get home. So hang out with normies; they will be obsessed with you.
Also, like you said, like maybe go watch a couple of people bomb. You know what I mean? And then you just there's something about that that makes you feel real good.
yeah.
Talk to
Troida.
some-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk to someone who's sad. Go to a comedy show. Talk to a guy who's like, "Yeah, listen, I'm not having a good time," and you're like, "Wait, I'm doing
Right.
great." Listen to a man talk about how he never thinks he's gonna find his heat, and you'll be like, "Okay, cool. I'm doing pretty good."
Yeah. Or think about
Yeah.
where you were a year ago. You know,
Oh,
maybe not this
yeah.
past
Yeah.
year, maybe two years ago.
We're skipping 2020.
Yeah.
I don't.
Although
I
that
don't
is also
regard
a good like think about. I mean, I don't know. It's but like be remembering what we went through this past year and a half has
Yeah.
definitely made me like have a lot more of a healthier perspective at
Actually, yeah.
times.
I just saw. I
times,
just got.
yeah. At
I just got
times.
distracted by your dog, Jill. I
Oh, is
just
he moving?
he was moving, and I was like, dog. Like almost
yeah,
like you
he's
know,
back there.
You know how dogs are like squirrel. I
Yeah.
just did that. I was like, dog.
it. Yes, totally.
That's Spartacus.
Yeah.
He's a good boy.
Dougie's a good boy. Okay, so that's how you get over creative blocks. Number two, and number two says why. Okay, I don't know. It says why do we override our gut feelings?
Societal pressure, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like as women, we're told to be polite and stuff and friendly, but I know I'm sure you guys have been in a situation where a guy is acting weird to you, and you're like ha ha ha, instead of being like get the fuck away from me, man.
Yes.
And I think that's
I would
think
like to
that's
say
why.
something about this question. I'm Irish. I'm very impulsive.
Yeah.
I ride with my gut feelings. When
Me too,
someone's I'm really bad at not showing my like. You know, people in this industry who are very like nice, but then they'll turn around and be like, "That was fucking weird." If it's
Yeah.
fucking weird in the moment, I'm like, "Dude, what the fuck is like?" I'm bad at building the facade.
yeah.
yeah.
I'm
yeah.
bad at overriding my gut feelings.
I think sometimes we do it like Jill said. It's like as women too, we're always supposed to be apologetic for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like women are always saying sorry. Like you ever bump into every girl you bump into is like sorry. Oh, sorry. You bump into a man, they're just like okay. They never say
Yeah.
sorry. So
Yeah.
it's like I think that's it. Like being polite and always having to say sorry. But I also think that sometimes we get like a little. Our brain gets a little egotistic, and they're like, "No, we know."
Yeah.
You know, forget about our gut feeling. We know what we know what we're doing.
Right.
Like, forget that feeling. You know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just me.
No,
Maybe
'cause our
that's my-
brain-
You go ahead.
Yeah.
Our brain, well, is the example is like someone asks me to do a show 4 hours away for like no money, and my gut feeling is no. But then my brain is like, who the fuck do you think you are to say no to something, bitch?
Right.
Yeah.
We just lived through a pandemic, and you
Yeah.
think you can say no to something? But my gut, for sometimes I will try to override that gut feeling. But for the most part, when I end up going to that gig, I'm like, what the fuck is your
Yeah.
problem? So why do we override our gut feelings? Because we don't have a good, strong sense of, I think it's like not having a strong, you have to be like strong with like your decisions and like who
Yeah.
you are as a person to maintain your gut feelings.
You gotta trust yourself, kind of,
Yeah.
right? And that's
Yeah.
if you have trust issues, then that's kind of hard.
Trust issues, or like if you have a day of like low self-esteem, you're gonna
Yeah.
try to override that.
Yes.
Oh
gut
yeah,
feeling.
yeah.
Yes.
Anytime you second guess yourself, for sure.
Totally.
Like being indecisive, like you were saying. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
trusting your gut is always a good.
I heard it's
Rule of
always
thumb.
the way to go.
Yeah.
When I have a weird feeling about someone, it's later on. People are like,
Ugh.
"That person's weird." I'm like, "I know, right?"
It's the best. How
Oh.
great is that when somebody's like, I was like, did you see that? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah.
Oh. I always
knew
wait
it.
I always wait till people tell me. I'm like,
Yeah.
that person's weird, and then like 3 months later, they're like, "Okay, so like Dave has been
happened.
pissing me off." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, really?
Like,
That's
called it.
weird.
Called it.
Called it. Dave's weird.
Dave sucks. Knew it
Dave
from the
sucks.
get go.
I check it off in my book, like Promising Young Woman. I'm like,
Yeah.
another one bites the dust. Okay, we got one more question. This one is similar to the first one. How do you cope with anxiety? Really similar to the dealing with creative blocks. Anxiety is a little bit different because you can get in creative blocks. You're like, nothing's coming out. Anxiety comes in many forms.
Everything is coming out with anxiety.
Everything's-
yeah.
You're spiraling. You're connecting thoughts in ways they shouldn't be connected. You're like, there's different forms of anxiety. There's overgeneralizing, trying to predict the future, jumping to conclusions, stuff like that. How do you cope? I'm on Lexapro, motherfucker. You gotta numb that shit. First of all, especially if you have spiraling, uncontrollable thoughts where you're
Yeah.
just like, everyone hates me
Yeah.
and this is why I'll never blah blah blah. That's when you gotta like get some therapy.
Yeah.
Is super helpful if you get a good therapist. What else? Coping with anxiety, exercise,
Drinking.
drinking,
Smoking weed.
get a little bit of
weed.
weed in there. I
edible.
for sure a little edible. I for sure cope
Yeah.
by eating food. I get one tinge of like an anxious thought, and I'm like, I need a pizza. That's really
Yeah.
gonna help me. So
The way I cope is I procrastinate everything that's giving me anxiety until it explodes.
yeah,
And
I
then
do
I
the same.
And then I take care of everything that was giving me anxiety, and then
Yeah.
I go, I should do that more often.
Right.
And then it's just a circle. Then I do it again.
Oh my god!
And that's how I cope with my anxiety.
God.
Yeah. Chopping everything up into small little like
Yeah.
achievable bits helps.
Yeah.
And just being like, it's not that hard, just fucking do it. Because the
Right.
more you think
Yes.
about it, like something will take 5 minutes. Or just like if I'm wild and out and I have writing to do, I'll put it off for 12 hours. And then by the
Yes.
time I get started, I'm like, oh, I'm actually cooking some stuff right now. But I
Right.
lost 12 hours
Yeah.
like scrolling on my phone because I was like, I was telling myself like, you're not good at this. Or like, all sorts of
Well,
stuff.
I like that. I like that yell, honestly.
That's my brain. George of the Jungle.
People just hear that since you guys are in a bubble. You're all like
Yeah.
quarantining. People
Yeah.
just hear like,
They
what is
sh-
Maddie doing all the
Maddie-
time?
She's doing her vocal warm ups.
Red leather, yellow leather.
I go through the same thing too, like, but sometimes mine is with social media because I get
Yes.
so worked up on
Yes.
social media. I'm like, you should
Yeah.
post you should post a story, you should post a post. Now I'm
Mhm.
trying to like be like active on TikTok too, and I'm like,
Mm.
just put a TikTok, and I'm like, but it's not funny, but it is, but it's not, but it is, but it's not, it's too late. Like
Yeah.
I go through that whole notion
Yeah.
of like,
Yeah.
it's not funny, it is funny, it's not funny, it's too late, I missed
Right.
it, should I
Right.
do it? It's like,
Right. I hate that.
I procrastinate that. That's what
I
I procrastinate.
procrastinate.
It's like my social media presence. And
I heard that you're supposed to, like, with the negative thinking, you're supposed to try to reverse that as soon as you can.
oh, okay.
Easy peasy.
Easy. I wish someone would have said that.
Not a problem. Okay. I never thought about that. That's so interesting.
Yeah, so listen.
Wow. I've thought about putting it in park and neutral, but never reversing.
I'm trying to make your guys' lives easier.
Thank you, Maddie. My God.
I'm like mansplaining a woman's brain to her.
Yeah.
Just smile.
But come on, just put a little pretty face on, why don't you? You don't even got much going on up here.
I also try to. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Joe.
Oh, I was gonna say I try to, like, when I get anxious about doing a comedy show where I see a lot of people who I cast in my head as being better at comedy than me. That, like, you know, that imposter syndrome kind of feeling and that anxiety. I try to shift it from, like, nervous about bombing to excitement. You know what I mean? Trying to like turn that switch from like to like, ooh, I'm nervous, but I'm excited. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
You have to do that because we can't be living our lives in fears of lineups or
Right.
that
makes so much sense.
so much. At New York Comedy Club, I used to get in my head, especially like a packed Friday night, and you're like,
100%.
oh boy, they're
Yeah.
only gonna like, but it's like manifestation. When you tell yourself they're only gonna like these jokes, then they're only gonna like those jokes, because
Right.
because then you're gonna deliver your other stuff weekly,
Yeah.
and then same thing. If someone better than you is on the lineup, you're gonna be like, I don't
belong
deserve to
here.
be here. But
Yeah.
if
Well,
you
it's
tell
also-
yourself you're excited, it'll emanate from you more.
Yeah.
It's also like the audience. I try to remember this too. Like the audience doesn't know that this person is.
They
better
don't
than
fucking
you.
know.
They don't.
That's
You know
true.
what I mean?
That's
They're just
true.
like,
That's true.
unless it's Dave fucking Chappelle, they have no
Right.
idea that person is on late night. No one knows who anyone is.
or like they don't like. You know, we all see each other and we're like, oh yeah, like we see them kill all the time. But the
Yeah.
audience doesn't know that. Like
They
the
don't know.
audience is not in, so they're just like, oh, all of these comedians are good.
Yeah.
You know, and what I do, Jill, with the nervous thing, that's so funny that you said that. I do the same thing. Like I get like if I get nervous, then I'll be like, okay, what are you excited to tell them?
Yeah.
Like think about what you're excited to tell them, because then it just switches from nervous to excitement.
Oh,
Totally.
that's good. That's
yeah,
good.
so it's it's like what you said.
And you picture yourself doing well too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Visualize it. Make a vision
Yeah.
board.
You have to visualize. you have to.
I'm gonna make a
Pray at
vision
the
board.
altar of yourself.
You have to be in your own corner.
Yes.
Honestly, a lot of anxiety stems from like just control, and if you don't like uncertainty, because anxiety is like
Yeah.
trying to control the future.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're supposed to be like, everything I have is what I want. Like everything I
Yeah.
want is within what I have right now, and everything that will happen to me is going to happen to me.
And I believe in it. I'm gonna make a
And I
vision
believe in
board.
it. Yeah.
I'm gonna make a vision board of people just laughing though. Like just
And they're laughing at how dumb you are.
Oh.
Be careful what you wish for. Vision boards
Like a
are like,
gypsy's curse.
yeah, vision boards are like, I want a lot of money. How'd you get it? Because you had made a deal with Harvey Weinstein.
Oh no, Ashley, not Harvey. Is
we
he
gotta
dead?
do what we gotta do.
You gotta do. But those are our emotional issues. I feel good now. I feel loose. I feel like
I
my
feel like we really
anxiety
solved
is
some problems.
totally
Yeah.
cured. Let's move on to our topics from the top of the pod. Last part of the pod. Okay, so let's talk about pride. All right, Ashlyn. Actually, let's do the Naomi Osaka. Okay, so Naomi is in 2018 she won the U.S. Open. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
She beat Serena. It was a very dramatic back and forth. Actually, yeah. And so Naomi was in there. She's literally was like 21 years old when she won. And recently she said, listen, I'm done with media obligations. I'm done. It gives me depression. I've been really depressed for the past 2 years, and they make me really sad. But the French Open said, you can't be in our shit if you don't do your media shit.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy. I didn't know they had those rules.
Well, I feel like that kind of makes. I mean, I feel like it's like if you're a celebrity and you're in a movie, you have to promote that movie.
You have to put that
You know
on
what I
the
mean?
movie, yeah.
I think it's kind of part of the deal of being a professional athlete.
Yes, I
right?
think the sad
I
thing
think
for
it's in your
her
contract.
is
Yeah.
probably in her
Yeah.
contract.
I mean, it sucks that she's like
Yeah.
depressed and anxious, but I do feel like, I mean, it's tough. It's a tough situation.
It's yeah. Listen,
It's-
she's got $50 million and that's just in like sponsorships. So
Oh, well.
it's hard for me to feel bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, dude, take your Xanax, get in front of the mic, and say that
Right.
you had a tough game, and then
Yeah.
Well, I
go
think
home.
Well, I think what's funny is that I saw like I think they asked Venus Williams about it, like why, like what does she think about that? And she was like, "Well, the way I deal with it is that like I know everyone who asks me a question is not better than me at tennis." So she was like, "So
Yeah,
I don't
totally.
care. So I don't
Yeah.
care what they say, like all these
Yeah.
reporters and all that." She's like, "Because none of them could even like keep up with me on the court."
Yeah.
And it's like I feel bad for Naomi. I mean, she's young too, and she's like has all this stardom, and it's kind of weird because she's just an athlete, but then we
Yeah.
like put athletes in the celebrity realm. And you know, she's a woman of color, so she's probably like gets belittled all the time. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
right.
Like it's always like probably a belittling question. So that's kind of
Yeah.
hard, but it's like it's part of the contract. Like what do you do? You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like it's exactly what Jill said. Like when you're shooting a movie, it's in your contract. You have to promote certain places, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that-
totally.
But it's so weird because now we're living in a time where everybody's like, mental health is so important. Speak your truth. You
Yeah,
know? So it's
yeah.
like those two things don't really equate. And it's like, how do you rationalize if a professional player is being like, I really like I'm
Yeah.
on the verge of having a nervous breakdown knowing I have to talk to you guys, but I still want to play tennis. I don't know. It seems like there could
Yeah.
I think there
something
could be a
could be
little.
worked out, you know?
I think
I think there could be a little compromise here. What do I
Yeah.
know? But you know, the French are freaks.
Oh, yeah.
of
Oh, yeah,
nature,
yeah,
so do not even get me started with them. I
Yeah.
do think there could have been a compromise or maybe some internal things with her. I mean, this could also be a little media ploy where, like Michael Phelps, she's the next face of blah blah. She's got a sponsorship coming
Oh, maybe.
for
Right.
mental health. But they were saying like none of
That's so crazy if that was true.
Listen, Naomi, depression is in. We got Gary Goldman, Bo Burnham's out there showering us with their depressive thoughts. You're next. So bring it on. She comes out with a comedy special
Oh,
from her
boy.
bedroom. So
It would just be weird. Like think about if we had to do an interview after every set we did. You know what I'm saying? And people were like, "So you really bombed that one joke?" You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like that would be hard to do
So
night
true.
after night.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like it's got to be
Yeah.
hard, but there's got to be something where it's just like, okay, then we don't sponsor you, or you know,
Or she has
it's
a
gotta-
spokesperson speak
a
Yeah.
for her.
spokesperson sits
Yeah.
next to her, or like
Yeah.
she has like a 2 reporters at a time max, or
Right.
or maybe
Yeah.
can we talk about like how we like shower these people with questions immediately after they're done and it freaks
Yeah.
them out.
Yeah.
And why do we
Yeah,
expect
that's
every
vulnerable.
person who's good at something to also be like charismatic and,
Yes.
and why can't we
Yes.
just have like athletes who are like introverted and don't want to do that?
Dumb.
Yeah.
Dumb, because especially your brain, you're still forming at age 21. So now she's like affected by it and she's not even 25 yet. And it's
Yeah.
like, it's like child stars when they're like so much is thrown at them and they're still forming their brains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she is still rich as fuck.
True.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
She
don't
still
know.
has 50 mil. Like she
Yeah.
still has 50 mil. You know?
Well, also the female tennis, like Serena's been asked so many just stupid questions,
Stupid,
like
yeah.
why aren't you smiling? Like just the most idiotic, or like what movie star
Yeah.
do you want to date? Like just so,
Oh,
like what?
dude,
like,
like,
and then to have to throw that on top of being, I don't like all the pressure of winning a
Yeah.
Grand Slam. And then you're
Yes.
objectified like that. Like I can understand why it gives her a lot of depression.
Oh,
yeah.
And
It's
we're talking
belittling.
about like going against your gut. If I was in one of those
Right.
interviews and someone said,
Oh, forget about it.
someone said, "Hey, Maddie, why don't you smile?" I would literally
I would love to see that.
turn the table over. I would put one of the reporters in a headlock and I would say, "Don't fucking talk to me like that." I would be the loose cannon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
So-
surprised there aren't more loose cannons, honestly.
Me too, actually. Well, they're probably all numbed
they probably-
up, right?
And they probably get fined too. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
They probably get fined and they probably get intense PR coaching.
Mhm.
And they're
Yeah.
like, listen, you probably want to say a lot after this, but let's fucking, they
say-
probably think of it as like,
Yeah.
turn your emotions off, talk, and we can cry in the locker room after.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so
Which is-
brutal, man.
so brutal. I'm competitive as fuck. I could see myself throwing a couple
Oh,
tennis
yeah.
rackets on the
Oh,
match,
Forget
same.
about it.
screaming and
They
Yeah.
get mad at Serena for like cursing.
I
I'm
know.
like every
Dude.
word, every other word out my mouth is a curse. Imagine
Every
if I'm, like,
motherfucking
angry.
other fucking
Yeah.
word out of my mouth is a curse.
Every
Dude, I have
fucking-
I have one joke bomb in a set, and I start, I get my gun out. I get out my gun, and then I start saying, "Who's gonna give me some fucking respect around here?"
Yeah, play Russian roulette with the audience. I saw you not laugh.
They all duck it
Yeah.
when I pointed at them. So I can't imagine the whole world is on me. And then you get this anger of like, dude, I'm so fucking athletic. Do not talk to me.
Right.
Like it's like when fat guys sit at home and they're like, well, Tom Brady can't really throw anymore. I would get so mad at these people. It's
Right.
like when people comment, this is why women aren't funny. Well, on your shit, you're like, I've been working for years
Yeah.
on my craft, and you took me down with one single comment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that for someone being, at least I don't take care of my body. For Serena Williams, she takes wheatgrass and curates her body, and then someone's
Yeah.
just like, hey, you got fat from your pregnancy. How does that make you feel?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Horrifying.
Everyone's like, "Are you still dating Drake?" And she's like, I haven't drank in like 4 months just to like
Yeah.
sacrifice. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
haven't had
Yeah.
like a good
Yeah.
fucking meal. Like I
Yeah.
haven't spoken
sexism-
to anyone.
Anyone, literally
Yeah.
anyone. The sexism in the interviewing world, and even just like female celebrities, like that guys they'll joke around with and be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, Matthew McConaughey, you were so good," blah, blah. And then the women, it's like, "So, seeing anybody?"
And it's like, ooh, who are you wearing? We have a
Who
nail
are you
cam.
wearing?
Did you see the nail
yes.
cam?
Yes.
So you like stick your hand in a box and there's a camera in there so you
Yes.
can look at celebrity manicures.
The
Like,
nail
what the
cam. Yeah.
fuck?
What the fuck?
Mine would just be bitten, you know? 'Cause
Yeah.
I bite my nails.
Yes.
You'll see like
Yeah.
a little teeth mark.
Nail cam cuticles. People comment on their weight and stuff
Ugh.
too. It's like, oh, and the men just have to wear suits and they
Yeah.
can do no
Yeah.
wrong. Whatever. Maybe this will open more of a dialogue, but I don't think so. We've been saying that for like 20 years now about
Yeah.
women in the.
But maybe
in the
it
media. I mean,
would.
Sinead O'Connor, she gave us a little Hail
Yeah.
Mary, and now she's
Yeah.
retiring. So, who fucking knows? All right, we got one more topic: pride. Corporate pride, oh man, it has exploded since like 2010. I'm going to say
Yeah.
that much. Every year, the Pride Parade gets a little bit more glossy, and it's starting to look a little chuggy, if I'll say that
Ooh.
myself, Jill. There's a callback for Jill.
Chuggy.
Yes.
Do you know what chuggy is, Ashlyn?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
It's what
cool.
Gen Z. Yeah,
Yes,
it's what
Gen
Gen
Z.
Zs call people that like wear skinny jeans or don't part their hair. Yeah, who
Yes.
don't follow the Gen Z rules.
I see.
Chuggies.
Yeah. Or they're like a little dated. And the Pride Parade is, the whole rainbow, the Citibank.
Yeah.
Citibank said pride. What's your guys' take on the corporatization of pride?
It's so disgusting, right?
It's so weird. It's like, dude, we just want to have sex with women.
Yeah.
Why do you have to? To me, it's like the fact that we even have to talk about people's sexuality is like, and not in a way that's like, why do we have to talk about it?
Yeah,
in a
no,
way that's
no.
like, it shouldn't even fucking be a topic of discussion.
yeah.
I
It's
fuck a
like-
dude, I fuck an animal. Who the fuck cares? I realize that's illegal, but come
That
on.
animal
Yeah.
was a woman. So
LGBT. Yeah, the animal was. That's how I refer to hoes. So it's like you walk like.
Well, it's so disrespectful, right? Because it's like I saw Uber. Like I don't know if you've taken an Uber yet, but the Uber has like how it has the black line, like it'll tell you like your route. The black line is a rainbow now.
Oh.
Oh my God! Get
Yeah.
outta
Going right
here.
into Manhattan's asshole.
Where's
It's
my
also-
poppers?
Yeah.
But it's also they're like, yeah, we have this nice little rainbow line, but it's $80 to go 20 blocks.
Sure.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I'm like, do you really care?
Totally.
Yeah.
Like, do
Dude,
you
we
really
don't
care?
Rainbow washing, I think it's called, right?
Rainbow washing.
Yeah.
Yes. Uber, like every app, Instagram is like post your pride story, and
Yeah.
it's
Did
like,
you see-
dude.
Skittles.
like-
Did you guys see Skittles?
Are they
They
all?
went
Are
black
They
and
went
white,
black
right?
and white because
Yeah.
they gave up their rainbow for
no
queer
Oh
creators.
my
So they're doing
God.
black and white Skittles or like gray Skittles because the rainbow is for queer people now. So for Pride Month.
Dude.
I literally don't own one rainbow thing. Like I literally like
Right.
don't own one rainbow.
I know.
Yeah.
Why do they think? like-
Don't give up your rainbow for me. Like what are you talking about?
It's a rainbow. Like chill. It's not about.
It's
Come on.
not about
It's not about
like,
a rainbow.
Yeah, exactly.
It's about
freedom.
It's not about get your fucking rainbow out of here and start stop hate crimes against gay people.
Yeah.
right.
You know, like we don't give a fuck that you have a rainbow in Macy's.
Yeah. It's
Stop
so
discriminating.
So stupid. It's like Skittles just was like, well, we can't go rainbow because we already are rainbow. So then
Right,
what do
let's
we
do the
do?
opposite.
Go the opposite.
I know.
Oh my
Once,
God.
okay, so probably once
Uh,
Pride started exploding a few years ago, Skittles had a board meeting, and Mr. Skittle was like, "We have a problem, guys.
Yeah.
We are encroaching upon a group of people, and this is my fault for
Tasting
writing
the rainbow.
Taste the Rainbow, which is a genius tagline, but
Right.
we got to fix it for every June from now on. So what are we gonna do? Taste the straights.
Taste the
They
black
made it
and
about
white.
race. It's black and white now. So
Yeah,
Yeah. Skittles comes out with a black and white line. Taste the race.
Taste the
It's also
race.
like, I'm like, all right, you all want to like promote Pride, then give me a discount.
for sure.
Give me a
yes.
discount. Then be like, all right,
Give
every
me a
gay person has
fucking
40% off from Uber.
Yeah.
But you doing a fucking
Yeah.
rainbow line? Get out of here.
Yeah,
Did you
just-
change
just-
your colors?
Yeah, they just
Yeah.
realized that like people who are in the LGBTQ community have a ton of disposable income, and they're like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
so transparent that they're just trying to be like, spend your money here
Yeah.
for 1 month. We can really
And
use
100%.
You.
We could use you. We have flannels. We
Yeah.
have flannels.
Ashlyn.
Ashlyn, come on by. We got shorts. We got zip off pants that you can buy. I also think
Plenty
it's
of
like
loops for your tools.
we got tool loops. We got you can put your phone on your belt loop if you want to.
We got rainbow drills. We got
That's right.
Rainbow Deckers.
Drills.
Black and Deckers, like we got a rainbow drill. Like,
my
we got
God.
Rainbow hard hat.
Oh
Are you a
my
top or
God.
a bottom?
Yeah.
We got stuff for both, guys. We got stuff for tops, bottoms.
Girth.
Clear out your asshole. I also
Yeah.
think it's like once one company, it's like same thing as price points. When one company does it, every other one. You can't be the only company who doesn't have a statement on pride.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And so that's
Yeah.
how the corporatization of stuff
Right.
happens. It's the same thing as Black Lives Matter when like fucking Sears is like, we support
Yeah.
we're- oh, okay. I
Okay.
didn't, but because every other store
Yeah.
does it, that every
Yeah.
company feels like they have to. Not that it's good to have a widespread, but now it's at the point where it's a little bit plasticky.
Yeah. It's
Well,
the
they're
epitome
not-
of American culture. It's just
it's
like
epitome.
capitalism on display.
It's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
capitalism.
Yeah.
It's actually interesting to watch how capitalism really works.
It's also like they don't do anything. They're not like, oh, it's Pride Month. We're gonna slap a rainbow logo on our stuff, and then we're gonna like donate to like homeless LGBTQ kids.
No,
They're just like, no, we just slapped a rainbow and a logo. That's
Right.
enough. You know, like they're not doing anything. They're just like, we're okay with you to spend your money here. Literally is what they're
Yeah.
saying.
You won't
Where-
be gay bashed if you come in our store.
you will
Yeah.
not be gay
This
bash.
month.
This month, yeah.
You will not be gay bash this month only. After that,
Definitely.
after that, we do not let the gays in. If you scissor in our dressing rooms, we will kick you out.
Gay wedding cake for everyone.
What do you think of the Pride Parade, Ashlyn? I think
in general,
I've only been a couple. When I went, it was pretty regular. I don't know.
it's honestly like,
Lots of men in dominatrix outfits, the usual.
which I love. I love to see that.
Obsessed.
Leather daddies.
I love to see that because I can like sexualize them but not be into them. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, you know, I don't know. It's like this weird thing. But I don't know. The gay parade is like, it's overrated too. It's like this whole different thing. I don't feel like it's unity at all. It's just like people getting wasted on the street.
Yeah.
And then you have like a absolute when you float comes by, like Absolute vodka, and then you got Gap, and then you're just like, what is this? Is it advertisement? Like, is this a commercial basically? Like,
I know it's literally just like advertisements floating by you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, what is this? This isn't even fun. So that's how I felt about it. That's my thesis.
Do you go every year?
No, I don't go every year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not. I look, for me, it's like it gets weird because it's like I'm proud to be gay, but I didn't have a hard time coming out at all to anyone. Like anyone. Because my mom's gay, but then also like everybody in my family was super, you can have family members who love my mom, but are not okay with being gay. But like family members, friends, siblings, no, even my job, like no, I had no negative feedback about me being gay. Only that I have to get roasted on this podcast every once in a while.
I know
this is not a safe space for you, Ashlyn. I'm sorry.
Listen, and now that I know it's always been easy for you, we're about to go harder.
Here we go. Well, it's about to
we
get
gotta give this girl some character. We gotta make her want that pride parade. We gotta make her feel the rainbow. Now that we know. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. At the end of the day, all we want to do is lick some clits and
that's it. That's
get
all
our
I
ass eaten by a hot girl and
exactly.
And now I got Rite Aid telling me it's okay. Yeah.
Well, I think it's because like I used to live in San Francisco and Pride there was like a thing, but then it became very like kind of like douchey, like Club Kitty almost, where like all the straight people kind of co-opted Pride. But then
straight people,
But then there's another thing in San Francisco called the Folsom Street Fair, which is like a leather daddy, like I guess not parade, but festival.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's very like you go there and you walk and you're like, wow, this is not for me. Like it does. You're like this. And then there's like, there's people like sitting on dildos. It's wild, man. It's like, there's a lot of and there's orgies going on.
Send me the address. Send me the address.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious.
Ashley, now that I know that you're into leather daddies, I feel like
I know
I've got a perfect summer day plan for you.
I've got a perfect summer day. Wake up, exercise, and then go to the Leather Daddy Festival.
Yeah. And then also in San Francisco, if Folsom Street Fair is too tame for you, there's Dorian Alley, which is like happens at the same time, and that is really
sounds
like a
like a Dorian Alley sounds like a J.K. Rowling book.
Yeah.
Dorian Alley
about like
over you.
About glory
Tell
holes.
me more about
exactly.
Tell me more about Dorian
holes.
Alley. Tell me more
Dorian
about
Alley,
Alley.
I think Folsom Street Fair is like kind of where like people sell their wares and you can buy like a thing that you sit on and there's like you can get nipple clamps and kind of stuff and everybody's wearing their leather stuff. I think Dorian Alley is maybe where you test out that stuff in like a public setting.
Oh.
And this is all sanctioned by the city, by the way. So
my
it's kind of fun.
gosh.
I know San Francisco is pretty wild.
Yeah, that's why I think like Pride Parade is like not the place to be. I think the people who have been going to Pride for years are probably like at alternate places by now.
Yeah. I feel like it's just kind of the, basic.
It's basic.
Chuggy as.
Yeah, Chuggy. Yeah.
Chuggy, and don't cancel us for saying that because we got one gay girl on the pod. So we can say what we want when she's here.
Yeah.
But are you guys gonna go this year? Final
Probably.
question of the pod. Yeah.
I won't. Yeah.
I like to go hang, have a drink, and be like, "Woo!"
Hang.
Yeah.
Wave
Woo!
your
That's
flag.
it. And then you leave. You
And
just
then I leave, and
have
I'm like,
one
there's too
drink.
many people.
Yeah. It's too many people.
There's so many people.
can't.
It is a cool place to like wear whatever you want because people
Yeah.
are out stickers on their nipples just
Oh,
fully,
yeah.
and no one will look twice at you. So it's
But
just,
I don't even go to the Puerto Rican or Dominican parade. So it's like I don't really
race
like
traitor.
Yeah, it's because you don't go to. I don't go to the St. Patrick's parade, so my whole family.
I don't go to the Jewish one.
Ah, yes, the old Jewish parade in Brooklyn, Crown Heights, Brooklyn.
Release the Jews.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh man. Yeah.
But I will say, going to Pride, like in New York, it's really. I feel like everybody's so happy. Like
Yeah.
it's such I feel everybody's having a good time, and everybody
Yeah.
really wants to be there. It is
Yes.
really. It does have like fun vibe.
It has
Yes.
fun vibes.
Yeah.
It does.
We don't want to hate.
corporatization.
We don't want to hate the fun because at the end of the day, people are very nice.
Yes.
Are nice.
No, it's super. It's really fun. I just don't like crowds, and it's always hot because it's June. It's the end of June,
Hot.
and it's hot.
Yeah.
And I just don't like the crowd.
Yeah.
It's more because of that. Because
Yeah.
it is one of the best parades to go to, though. If you're gonna go to a
Oh,
parade,
If you're gonna go to a
is, 'cause
parade,
it's so
We're
fun
gonna get a
and
parade.
yeah.
and people are like strangers will talk to you. It's like very welcoming. So
It
Yeah.
is.
you know.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's our pod. We ended on a.
You're like enough on the
just-
good things about
like,
the
We
game.
just chat on the Pride Parade for 10 minutes, and then we were like, "But it is it is
But
fun.
go.
It
No,
is-
but seriously,
no.
go.
Oh, like people are really nice, and
So
it
nice.
is actually a really good time. But it's chilly. It's chilly. I don't like the rainbow. Anywho, thank you guys so much for joining me virtually. It's 10 a.m. my
you.
time, 1 p.m. your time. I know you guys
Yes.
are looking to eat some lunch. Where can we find both of you?
We just stayed quiet. You can find me at Ashlyn Salzano on Instagram.
Per usual.
Yeah.
And I'm Jill_lives on Instagram and Twitter, and my podcast Wiki Freaks.
Check it out. And
Wiki
guys, if you're
freaks.
watching, thank you for supporting the Patreon. If you're listening, thank you for listening. Rate, review, subscribe on Apple, and join the Patreon. Patreon.com/Maddie Smith Fire Videos. See you guys next week. Bye.